Ashes don't cry, they rise. Armin's life had always been a battlefield where he fought alone. His story began in a cramped room with a leaking roof, where he slept on a broken mattress and woke before sunrise because survival didn't allow him the luxury of dreaming. His first job was selling donuts on the street. He stood in the burning heat, dust swirling around him, shouting for customers who either ignored him or mocked him. Sometimes they snatched donuts and ran off laughing. Sometimes they pushed him aside and spilled his whole tray onto the ground. He would kneel silently, picking each donut from the dirt with shaking hands, his stomach growling because he had barely eaten. Yet the next day he returned and tried again. But donuts didn't pay enough, so he took more jobs, cleaning storefronts at dawn, washing pavements till his spine ached, repairing old bicycles until his fingers blistered. He worked for shop owners who shouted insults and threw coins at him like he was not a human being but a machine built for labor. And when he saved a little, his money was stolen, sometimes by thieves, sometimes by coworkers who pretended they didn't see his pain. Once, late at night, a gang cornered him in an alley, beat him mercilessly, and took everything he had. Blood dripped from his nose, his hands trembled, and his ribs screamed with every breath, but he dragged himself home whispering, "I won't fall. Not tonight." The darkness grew heavier when he trusted the wrong person. Isa, the girl he loved. She was his one escape, the only warmth he believed he had. He spent months saving to buy her tiny gifts, skipping meals so he could afford them. He thought she was his light. Instead, she was another shadow. She used him for money, for comfort, for attention, and laughed at him behind his back. When he found her in a cafe with another man's arm around her, wearing the necklace he bought for her, she didn't even apologize. "You're too poor," she said coldly. "I deserve someone better." Those words cut deeper than the beating he had survived. That night, he cried quietly, not because he lost her, but because he realized he had never been loved at all. Yet he kept living. He kept working. He refused to let heartbreak be the end of him. He built a small repair stall using broken wood, rusted nails, and his bare hands. He worked until midnight every day, fixing bicycles with honesty even when people cheated him. He ate once a day, slept 4 hours a night, and carried the weight of every betrayal like chains around his neck, but he didn't stop. Then came Zoya. She entered his life with a soft voice and kind eyes. She thanked him genuinely, treated him gently, and smiled at him like he mattered. Armin didn't know she was also using him. Not for money but for attention, for the comfort of having someone who would always say yes. She lived her life freely while expecting him to stay in the shadows, waiting. She disappeared for days and returned whenever she needed something fixed. Armin believed she cared. She only cared about convenience. His heart, already wounded, began bleeding again. But this time something changed. One evening he saw her laughing with friends, pretending not to see him. The same night she returned to him with a broken bicycle, expecting the usual loyalty. Armin looked at her and for the first time he saw the truth. Not the smile, not the gentleness, but the selfishness behind it. He put down his tools and said, "I am not a spare part you can use when your life breaks." His voice didn't shake. Hers did. From that moment everything shifted. Something fierce awakened in him. Not anger, not hatred, but clarity. He rebuilt himself with discipline that bordered on obsession. He learned new skills, repaired more bikes, expanded his stall into a full workshop. People trusted him for his honesty, his consistency, his quiet strength. His name spread in the town like a rumor of hope. Armin, the man who never gives up. Months later, when his workshop became a success, when crowds came to him daily, when he had money saved and respect earned, life tested him again. But this time he was ready. Isa came back first, pretending she regretted losing him. Then Zoya returned, acting like she was the one who had been abandoned. Both wanted a place in his rising life. But Armin looked at them with eyes that had seen hell and walked out alive. He said one sentence they never expected. "I am done giving my heart to people who only show up when they see light in my hands." And he walked away without looking back, because his past had no right to enter his future. His business grew. His life grew. His soul grew. Armin didn't rise because the world was kind. He rose because darkness tried to drown him, and he learned to breathe underwater. He rose because betrayal tried to break him and he built muscles from pain. He rose because life kept burning him and he came back as fire.